Hello, and welcome to the first ever episode of MAGAnews, where we strive to present nothing but the truth. And today, we're lucky enough to have a very special guest live from our headquarters in Tahiti. We won't disclose his name for security purposes, but rest assured, this man has access to intelligence that is not yet available to the general public. That being said, let's dive right into it, skip the introductions, and start talking about some important issues. Where to start? Well, I guess we should take a step back for a second and just hear your opinion on Donald Trump and his chances. Do you really think he can be the next president of the United States?
Also known as Tahiti.
Yeah, I do. I came to realize Donald Trump would be our president maybe before he was even the nominee, but in kind of a different way. I just figured whoever the Republican nominee is going to be, whoever it is going to just be the president, since there's been this pattern my whole life where we will elect our president, but once their 8 years are up, we switch parties. It went from Clinton to Clinton to Bush to Bush to Obama, so people get sick of what's going on and they give them their 8-year chance, and now it's time to switch, so people are going to vote Republican and more Republicans are going to turn out and we're going to have a Republican president. And Donald Trump's the Republican nominee, so he's going to be the next president, and yeah, I guess I realized that when he started kicking butt in the primaries, and once I realized he was going to be the nominee, I realized he was going to win. And not long after that, I started to support him because I started to see what he was up to, and looking at what we got on the table here, he's way the best option, and I'm actually getting pretty excited for him at this point.
Holy
Okay,
shit,
yeah,
nice.
I'm following your analysis and reasoning and definitely agree with you. My next question would be, what do you like about Donald Trump? And maybe you can weigh in on your criteria for our next president and maybe how he meets this criteria.
Well, I don't make any promises, or I don't believe that a president's gonna help me in particular. I'm not waiting for a president to get my life going and make me powerful, or give me a job, or help me out, or give me cash. I just want someone that will basically leave me alone. But there are some things someone in the position of presidency can offer someone like me, and I basically boil it down to entertainment value, and Donald Trump is by far the most entertaining candidate we've ever seen, or I've ever seen in my life, and I think most people would say that. And that's fantastic, just coming from my perspective of wanting someone that can, I can tune into on the TV and get a laugh, and that would be worth the time it takes for me to cast a vote. That's a fair trade for me. I'll give him a little support, and he'll continue to entertain.
Dang, I mean, people, I do too.
Like, think about the time when he brought up Rosie O'Donnell in the debate. Like, that was comedy gold. I haven't seen a punchline like that from even a comedian, a month prior or after. The guy's genius. Just a great line like that.
All right, man, I got you. But this is cool.
And think about this. He was like on The Apprentice all those seasons, and that's a great show. If you guys haven't watched that, I was there from day one. Money, 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 money. That show was the nuts, dude. And Donald Trump made it. You're just waiting for the boardroom scene where he would just toss these fools out and fire them. I mean, can you imagine the moment where he fires Obama? Like, this is going to be amazing.
Fascinating stuff. Yeah, it's actually kind of a side of this election that I haven't put much thought into, so I appreciate the new perspective. What I like to focus on more is kind of the disaster that is going on right now in terms of violence and hate. I think it's fair to say that there's a large group of people out there that don't like Donald Trump, and by large I mean millions and millions and millions of people that don't like him, that in a sense feel hatred towards him. Have you put any thought into this, and what are your opinions on that?
Well, it's a good point that people do rally against and change for better or worse in a reflection of who the president is. If you look at the last 8 years with Obama, you see a huge surge in social justice and even some noble civil activism, but in general, just a growing dominance of the liberal viewpoint in our universities and schools and everywhere else. If we had Donald Trump as the president, sure, people would be offended, but I think that's a turn we need to take so that people can return to speaking their mind and not being called racists or bigots just for having an opinion about how maybe people are different or something they observe that aligns with the stereotype. Those shouldn't be, quiet thoughts that people have to keep to themselves. People should be able to basically speak their opinion, and Donald Trump is doing that. He's not being politically correct, and it kind of lets people in the country do the same thing. And I think people expressing their mind is a huge step forward to everyone getting a better slice of life. So, if we can do that with his personality at the expense of a couple feelings here and there, I say it's a fair deal.
All right, man. Well, we said we weren't going to talk about her, but, I'm just so interested here, and I'd like to know what you think about Hillary Clinton and why maybe she won't be able to fulfill these ideas that you have about what we need for our country, or why she simply isn't as good as Donald Trump.
Repulsed by her as a person, and they think about the things she's done, and I try to. I don't have much good to say about Hillary without getting into her scandalous life, and once you go there, I mean, this is a crooked person that we're almost forced to choose when you look at how the Democratic primaries went, and how Bernie was not given a fair go at it. So I say, to heck with all that. I'd like to say I see the appeal of Hillary Clinton, but the way I look at it, she is the definition, or perfect example of one of these politicians who's made it their whole life accumulating power and turning that into money and using the money to get more power. And I mean, she's basically all the way up the food chain here and had a good go at it last time against Obama, didn't quite make it, and I think the deal was made that she'd beat the Democratic nominee next time. So here she is, and if we could throw a wrench in their plan, I think that's just good for us, and bad for them, and them being the current establishment. All right, a lot of people need to either put out or get out of Washington. I don't feel like they're fulfilling their purpose, and like I said, I'd like to restore a feeling of civil service to that to the government.
Here's another good one. What about the Bernie Sanders, the one and only? Good guy, right? But at least in my opinion, good guy. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, the Sanders supporters are definitely good-hearted. A lot of them are my friends. Go on Facebook. It's all Sanders support, which is fine and good for them. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't agree with Sanders on much except for the way he points out the problems. Right? We can all agree on some of these big problems. The solutions, however, I mean, I'm going to disagree with him on almost all of them, the way he proposes it. So, I don't have much to say good about Bernie in that respect, but the people that support him do look to him as an anti-establishment candidate, which is humorous in its own right, seeing that he's a Democrat and he's running as a Democratic candidate. We have a Democratic president, so to be anti-establishment is to say, we are currently...
Yeah, I think we all agree Bernie Sanders is a good guy, and where he lost a lot of people was in his methodology towards solving the same problems that have been outlined by the Republican Party and libertarians and even other Democrats. It's just the methodology, and the socialism part really freaked people out. And yeah, it's fair, right? It's okay to be freaked out from socialism. Anyways, I know what time is it over there? Like 3 a.m. or something? Super late in Tahiti. Don't want to keep you out much longer. Appreciate your time. Do you have any last closing remarks? Anything you want to say? I mean, how excited are you for this election? It's pretty exciting over here on my side of the world. I'm sure it's exciting wherever you are.
I think this has been one of the most exciting, election cycles that I've ever witnessed, and the competition's fierce. And here came a guy out of nowhere that smacked down over a dozen, sturdy nominees from the Republican Party. And I mean, make no mistake, he was the one sending them to the exits. It wasn't, them beating each other up. Donald Trump took them down, including, a Bush who had all this money behind him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just fantastic, right? And so, I mean, we should be excited about this, and the last thing anyone should do is underestimate him. I mean, I guess we started off with me saying I think he's going to win, and a lot of people don't believe that. I think I guess if you don't want to be convinced, you don't have to. It's just, I put some money on Donald Trump winning the president. Like,
Dude, that's so funny.
Sure.
That's so funny. Oh, man. Dude, another news, freaking Bitcoin, man.
Dude, I'm so excited to put Bitcoin on Donald Trump winning the presidency, so that when my bet gets cashed, it's also worth more. As Bitcoin fucking goes crazy.
That's another
shout out to gold as well for all the investors out there. I know YouTube, people just get deep into YouTube and end up watching investment advice. All you need to know is gold, Bitcoin, and slips that say Donald Trump is going to win the presidency. These are all great investments right now, so cash in.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in to the first episode of MAGAnews. Had a really good time hanging out with my buddy and just recording some footage, talking about some serious issues, and again, just having a good time. It's always fun to do that. And if you want to be featured in a video like this, send me a message. Maybe we can coordinate some sort of Skype debate or discussion or whatever you want to call it. Always good to know that there's an audience out there, or people that want to engage in conversation like this. So, as always, just feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely very motivating, and gets me to go out and do things like this. And in the future, I do kind of hope maybe sending messages to. What is that? Okay, I got a little distracted there. Sorry, got a weird message on my computer. But I think the point that I was trying to make is that it'd be fun to have more subscribers and commenters and just sort of a more active channel, so that I can get more motivated to do cooler stuff. So you can only expect better content coming from me and my secret reporters and stuff, aka my friends. And yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be cool. So, till next time, to my fellow viewers and subscribers that have started following me, I really appreciate it. It's so cool. So yeah, cheers.